In this video, I'm installing the mobile base for the Laguna 1216 lathe. I have new equipment coming in and need the ability to change things around as the projects change. I'll also be unboxing, assembling, and reviewing the new equipment. So let's get started with the mobile base. It came in, as usual, very well boxed from Laguna. You can see by the label it appears to be upright, but you'll see in a minute it's actually upside down. So in taking the lid of it off, well, it's actually the bottom, but in taking it off, very well styrofoam packed. I like the way Laguna packs its machines and items. Very thick styrofoam. You can see it protects it very well, but in me taking it off, it's upside down. But it came through very well. So in taking it out, there's only a few pieces to this. There's the one end on the wheels, the single wheel on the front that's the steering. It has the bracket that goes on the inside for the steering unit, the wheel, and then a pack of a spring and where the bolts are. So in unpacking or undoing, there's one large spring, there's the bolts for both ends, and the washers that go with them. The nuts are either on the legs or in the bracket right there. So the only thing really to assemble is the bracket, the steer bracket. If you're going to do this, don't put that on right now. I made a mistake of putting that on, and it really got in my way when I tried to bolt that bracket up to the leg. But here, not knowing, I put the thing together. It just tightens down. You tighten it down with a wrench and it's ready to go. The inside plate goes on the inside of the leg, and it's basically like that. There is a screw on the bottom, you can see, that will hold that in there, but I didn't want anything on the bottom of the leg. So we'll start with the easier end. There's a shield or something on the top. I'm not really sure what the thing was for, but there's really only two bolts that hold this thing in. And I figured out here in just a minute that I needed to raise this up to have a little more play in it than what I did. But I put the one bolt on the one side, thought I needed a long extension and didn't, but I guess I was too lazy to take it off, so I just went ahead and used it anyway. So I tightened it down, or snugly put it in, and then in going on the other side, quickly found out, whoop, I need to raise this thing up. So I got a 2x4 and got it up off the ground, took the bolt, lined it up. Again, I'm not sure what that top shield is supposed to do, but put the bolt in and then snugged it up also. And then set it on the ground. I also figured out that the base itself needs to be on the ground, and then the wheels need to be right level with the base. So when the other end is picked up, and it does pick it up pretty good ways, it actually picks the base up so it's on the wheels. But you don't want it on the wheels while it's just sitting there. So again, I loosened the one end up, and that middle part is actually an anchor. If you want to anchor it to where it doesn't slide around, I would think if your lathe is shaking that much, that little bolt is not going to keep the thing held down, but for some reason it is. I want to make sure in rocking it back and forth that I had the wheels where I wanted it to be, and the lockdown adjustment, I wanted to make sure that that was up. So it's actually a bolt I had to kind of rock it to get it loosened up a little bit to get it off of it. So I got the thing off of it and then adjusted it up to where it was just off the ground a bit. And then I tightened up both ends. And again, the wheels, the leg are on the floor, so everything is static. The other end again lifts up enough to where it will lift up that base and get it around. So snugged them both down, and it went on for the front. So figured out also, let me just get it up off the ground, which I needed to anyway. The bracket, I put 2 bolts in to line it up, and then put one in to put in the lower right hole, and then the ability to just start it, I was able then to take the other 2 bolts out of it. And you'll see me take those things out real quick, easy to do. That allowed the bracket to stay in there, and I didn't have to anchor it on the bottom. Again, I didn't want anything on the bottom except the base itself. And I took both of those screws out and then started wrestling with this thing. And again, take that wheel off, don't put the wheel in. I struggled with it, and I should have just stopped, taken it off, and then taken the wheel back off. Life would have been a whole lot easier if I would have done that. But you'll see the bolt will slip out. It's not centered on the bracket right, and the struggle started.
So again, this is kind of what happens. You get that wheel in the way, and the bolts are hard to get in there, and you have to make sure the washer stays on, and here I am fighting the wheel again and trying to line up the bolt and keep it in my thumb, and it would be a whole lot easier with that wheel out of there, but the threads and everything for the wheel is just right in the way. So I fight it and it just becomes a mess. Once you get one in though, it's a whole lot easier. Then it's easier to line up the second one and the third one, and it just gets easier as you go along.
So got that struggle done and set it up. You can see how far this thing raises up, and it wheels around very nicely. You can see that it raised that base up on the back, that base leg up on the back, and rolls around very nicely, even as dirty as the floor is. Oops. But all in all, it's a nice mobile base, and certainly needed to be able to move things around. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Look for new videos to come on the new machines that are coming in. Please subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.